everyone. Paul Feldman from InsuranceNewsNet. We're here at the LIMRA Annual Conference in Orlando, 2025. I am here today with a longtime friend of mine in the insurance industry, Sherri Lindenberg. She is the Vice President of Marketing, U.S. Division of Pan American, and we've worked together quite some time. Tell us about the experience that you've gotten from InsuranceNewsNet.
So recently, we've been able to increase our opportunities to work together with between Newsnet and Pan American Life, and it's been really interesting because I've watched it over the years and I've seen opportunities, and I've been able to test them a little bit in my prior roles, but in this job, we've really been able to implement. So we started out with some simple advertising and email campaigns to start to build brand awareness. And prior to that, though, I was doing something a little different, which was writing some articles and contributing. And that was really the proof of concept, because demonstrating that if we submitted articles from our subject matter experts, they were getting some interest. And thought, wow, if we can get that from an article, just think what we could do if we had some more messaging around brand awareness. And we tested the waters with that, and it worked. And we amped it up and converted to lead generation. And for any sales organization, that's where it's at, right? We need to prove that it works. And we've been generating qualified sales leads coming out of email campaigns, the online ads, and even the print ads. And to me, that says a lot, that somebody's reading the magazine and taking the time to activate from print, right? It's easy for an online ad to just, oh yeah, click here.
Yes.
But to go to the print and then go and submit for a lead.
They're really interested at that point because, I mean, our reader is, they're more qualified than just anyone that reads stuff online. But I think one of the interesting things that you said was about contributing articles as well. And a lot of people don't do that. And I don't understand why more people in the industry that want to be thought leaders, that have interesting information to share, because I think readers are leaders, and people that read information are going to be the best people. You know, they're seeking to learn. They're not static on their chair in their office and think everything is.
It's a missed opportunity because it helps individuals build your personal brand. Building your personal brand helps build your corporate brand. So whether you're trying to build your career, whether you're trying to grow your company, whether you're trying to test the waters on new markets, all of these things can be done by getting a message out there. And candidly, when I was doing consulting work, I had people reaching out to me saying, I like what you're doing to build your brand. Can you help us do that for our company? It's like, oh, well, that's interesting. They saw my article under my name, and then I told them how I was able to help people within a company develop content under their bylines. And they're like, oh, what a great idea. We could do this. And then that transitioned to more hardcore marketing programs.
So a lot of people think it's hard to write an article, but it's really, it's just transference of what you're saying on the phone every day to your clients, to the people that you're doing business with. And we all have good stories. Like, how do you craft those?
So writing articles used to be harder, and our technology world has made it a lot easier. I'm not suggesting that people use the AI tools to completely write their content, because those are going to be dry and boring, but leverage the tools that you have. And the first tool that I started using a number of years ago when working with subject matter experts is getting them on camera. I said, just talk to me. You don't need to write the article. You need to tell me your story. I'll get it down, but talk it to me. Don't just send me some email bullet points, or don't try and write it. Just tell me your story. And I would listen to them and I'd engage, just like we're doing in this conversation now, but I'd get the transcript. And then it made it so easy to work with that transcript for me to turn it into an article, rather than having to take a million notes, or rather for them to have to spell it out. So using that technology to let yourself just go on and on about your topic. Well, now with the AI tools, we can take that transcript and say, give me the bullet points. What's the biggest takeaway? Give me a title idea from what I've just talked about. So using the technology and the AI to get you to where you want to be. I also sometimes use AI to give me first drafts. That's not the end piece that you're going to get, because it doesn't work, and you can test it using different technology to say, oh, this looks like it's too AI written. But get me that first draft, because that's the hardest part in writing, is getting something on paper. So then I was like, oh, but it's missing this, it's missing that. And I work it from there. So we have so many technologies that we need to be.
I know, and with transcripts today, you could transcribe a call talking to a client.
Yep.
Just talking to somebody or anyone that you work with, where you're training somebody, you take the transcript, you put it into AI, you kind of get the idea flow because it'll never capture your voice, but it kind of does if it works off of a transcript.
The other thing is that people don't know what to write about. They're like, well, I'm not an expert. I said, but you are. And I said, what area of the business do you work in? I said, well, give me 3 reasons that people should, whatever, that relates to your area of the business. 3 reasons people should call you, or 3 most common questions you get when dealing with customers, or the 3 biggest challenges you have in doing your job.
Mhm.
And they just rattle off those answers like, well, there's an article,
There you
right?
go.
There's something in there. What's the biggest problem you face that you think other insurance agents like you, other insurance professionals struggle with? Like, we've got an article in there and we can cull it out and then make it a little bit unique. I also say, go look at past articles that have been written, go back 5 years and say, are those still relevant? Well, they need to be refreshed. So let's look at old topics and see how we can put a 2025 spin on something from 2020.
Yeah, you can just literally rewrite and spin an article that you already had,
There's a new angle, right?
and it
AI.
maintains the voice. Like, my daughter she's doing her PhD program in college, and she uses all of her research report, like, that she's done over the years to write new things, and it keeps her voice because it's trained.
Yep. So I'm not suggesting that people let the AI replace their ideas. Use the AI to leverage what you have going. And even just saying, well, how does AI change the job that I did as a insurance professional 5 years ago? What can that add to it? There's an article in that, right?
So where are you seeing AI, like, affecting agents and, like, the people that you're working with, even in your company?
So some of the simplest things are the tools that we have access to. One is to stop thinking of it as AI. Just thinking of it. People are afraid, right? They say, "Oh, I don't know if I'm allowed to use it. Am I supposed to use it?" But nobody is afraid to use Google. We don't run to the library anymore to do research.
Ye
You Google it.
Yeah.
Well, just think of AI as the next iteration of that. So I try to encourage people, when you need to ask questions, ask whatever the AI is that you're coming. We use Microsoft Copilot. Just ask it the question, just like the conversation that we're having now, and it will talk to you. I said, get comfortable with it and use it for personal stuff. So I've had some medical experiences personally. I said, I'm just asking it to talk to me about medical things and put it in layman's words for medical. And then I'm like, well, gee, can I ask it to explain insurance things in layman's terms? Because we tend to make it a little bit overly complicated. So it gave me a great idea of how to, because I was talking to it about my personal stuff, to then change and say, well, let's do the same thing for an insurance concept. Can we write that so that a fifth grader could understand it?
Mm.
Um, so that's one
Yes.
thing. The most basic, meeting notes, right? Let it listen and let us give us the notes, because we're all spending so much time jotting down the same thing. We could be 10 of us on a call. We're all taking the notes.
And you could really be paying attention to somebody that you're
Yeah.
when they're speaking instead of writing things down.
And people said, well, I don't want a transcript. I was like, no, ask it for a summary of the meeting. One time I got on a call and I was 5 minutes late, 10 minutes late for the call, and I still joined. And it talked to me and it said, would you like to know what happened before you joined the call?
Oh.
Like, yes, please. And it gave me such a comfort level, because otherwise you feel so nervous and the people who are running the call are annoyed. Should they back up and start again because people just joined? It's like, no, that's going to make us more efficient because we can catch up quickly and find out what was covered when we joined. And people say, oh, does anybody read the notes? Well, some of us do, some of us don't, but that's no different than the normal thing. But also it allows us to build documentation. And so many of
And
us are
so many
poor at
meetings that we
documenting.
have, like, you don't have your call to actions, like, you don't have, like, it's just what you write down on your notepad, and then you might not look at your notepad again.
Right, and we've all worked with great project managers who at the end of a call send out and say, "Paul, do this, Sherry, do this, and by this date," and everything, and we're like, "Oh, man, I wish I could do that after every call." Well, now you can. And do we need to use it after every call? No. But should we use it after some calls? Yes. And then building documentation for our files. Most companies, employees, we're not great at documenting things that need to be documented to hand over to the other people on other teams, next generation, whatever. Well, now we can because we can say, oh, we already decided that. We discussed it 6 weeks ago. We resolved it, and here's where it is. So, how can we take those notes and start to build the important things the decisions that came out of those meetings into
Mm.
a library of product documentation, product decisions, whatever it was that we happened to be talking about? Those tools are helping us to get there. The other thing is analytics. Um, I'm not great with Excel. I don't use it frequently enough to become a marketer. I'm not a finance person.
Mhm.
I learned it, but I don't remember all the formulas and everything. Well, I can talk to it now, whether verbally to it or type it into the Copilot and say, Can you make a pivot chart out of this? Can you put a chart together out of this data?" Rather than me having to remember those steps. That just makes us so more efficient. Can you give me a first draft of a reply to whatever it is that we were discussing? And again, I'm never going to send it out as is. I'm not going to
Yeah,
reply.
that's one thing. It's like you have to
But
put your voice on
somebody's
it.
gotta do a
Yes,
first draft. You're never sending your first drafts out anyhow. So,
exactly.
it's like if you had an intern and you're like, "Oh, let them go give me the first draft," and then you edit it. Well, great, that's my intern. It gave me my first draft, and now I'm gonna work on it from there.
That's fascinating. You actually gave me some really good tips.
I hope so.
Yeah, like stuff that I think that we're going to utilize in our company. And it's simple. There's so much stuff with AI and how it can help us in just a lot of different interactions that we have in life.
So, the other project that our companies are working on together is analytical and trying to figure out what agents we think we should be targeting, right? There's literally hundreds of thousands of agents out there. We understand
Millions.
they're the million.
Yeah.
They're not all the right ones to sell our products right now.
Hmm.
Well, how do I figure out? I would like to be more surgical in identifying who to talk to and when to talk to them and what to talk to them about. So, using data that you have, overlaying that with some analytical skills from the third vendor that we're working with, and then the AI, we're figuring out we should talk to these people about this approach at this time of year.
Hmm.
And we're just kind of starting some of that, but already I'm feeling really encouraged that this is the future of our industry, not just our industry, but the future of a lot of industries, the future of business. And just think from the customer perspective, how good they're going to feel if I'm not lambasting them with messages that don't apply to them. If we could
Exactly.
actually
Yeah.
turn the email models around so that we stop sending out so many emails to the people that are most likely not interested right now and just focus on the ones who are our best prospects for that. So we could send out less email and have even better results.
Sherry, this was such a great conversation. I'm so glad that we got to speak. You gave me some ideas that I could use in my business. And I think that everybody in the industry, whether you're an insurance carrier, an advisor, an agent, like wherever you are in your career, Sherry just gave us some really good ideas.
Well, thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Sherry.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. And I
Yeah,
appreciate our friendship over the
me
years.
too. Thank you.